Hi, love bugs. I hope y'all are doing good. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. I have everything in my link tree, the Patreon, the spiritual channel, a couple other things in there. The womanizer link. Can use code AFF-Queen for some money off. I need to add the Glow Melanin link. I haven't added it yet. I forgot. But if you are into some skincare and you want to support a small business, a small Black-owned business, I also have a partnership with Glow Melanin. You can use code QUEEN15 and you can get 15% off of your purchase. Early live stream today. Early live stream today because I actually had a lot of energy. Thank God I had some energy this morning. And I'm full of a lot of thoughts this morning. And I usually get asked the same question over and over in regards to if I'm dating, if I've been married, or if I want to get married. I get a lot of questions just where I am in my personal life when it comes to relationships and things like that. And I'm really transparent. I really do practice what I preach in real life. I'm really big on maintaining my authenticity with my audience because I just feel like it's important because I want people to see the true reflection of how it looks when you have decided to decenter men, when you have decided to really go on this path of self mastery and sovereignty. And if any of that were to ever change, like I would just tell y'all. So that's the reason why I want to talk about this because I also, I'm sure that there are women out there who probably feel like something's wrong with them because they don't want to date. And they feel as though, like, well, everyone else is dating. And, like, it's like this experience that I need to have. And is there something wrong with me because I don't have this experience or I don't know, I no longer want to have this experience. So I also just kind of wanted to give women that are in that mind space currently any clarity just to remind you that like you're not alone, you're not crazy, there's nothing wrong with you. Okay, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. So before I get into why I don't want to date again, I want to give like a history, like let's go through like a dating history and kind of like how I viewed dating and kind of like what my dating experience was. I want to start with that first, okay? Growing up, I wasn't boy crazy. Okay, I wasn't boy crazy growing up. I didn't even have like my first real relationship until I was 26. I was always awkward around boys for the most part. I mean, growing up, like there were boys that I thought was cute. And like, of course, I wanted to like gain their validation, you know what I mean, when I was younger and kind of get their attention when I was younger. But the whole idea of me like actually being in a relationship with somebody and kind of like being tethered to another person, a man, it was never really something that was on my radar. I just never put men on a pedestal that high to think that they were so important and that they were such a requirement in my life that I had to have one to tell everybody that I had had one. I just didn't. So I started like dating and getting into relationships when I was in the club, but it was always transactional to me. So like I really do want to make this clear. I would say 95% of my dating experience was never for me to find love or for me to get married. I want to make that very clear. That was never really the end goal for me with most of my dating experience. I've just always been a in the moment type of woman when it comes to dating. And so I would, deal with the man. I thought the man was attractive. I would have fun with that man, whether it be like sleeping with the man, going out with the man spending money on me, the man giving me new experiences. That was all I cared about. All I cared about was just having a good time. All I cared about was just having fun. That's really as far as it went for me in my brain when it came to me dating and me dealing with men. It was just like, how much fun can I have with this man? And then as soon as it was no longer fun anymore, I would just go talk to another person. It was really that simple for me. I just would always, because there was always somebody waiting. Like if I was in a relationship, there was always somebody like ready to be there for like for a rebound. Like there were literally men like waiting in line for there to be a rebound. And so everywhere I looked, there was always like men that like wanted to take me out and like wanted to date me and wanted to spend time with me and wanted to court me and things like that. And so because of that, I just never put an importance on just dealing with one man, because my mind was just kind of like, you want to know what? Why not have fun with everybody? Like, why not have like experiences, you know what I mean? Like with everybody. It just made the most sense to me. So as I got like closer to 30, that's like when I kind of started having this mindset shift. And also, this is when like started talking to men, because I would say like after 2020, after that whole thing had like happened or whatever, the world changing when that whole thing happened, um you could tell like the rhetoric behind what men were getting fed, like obviously like the manosphere stuff, like the red pill stuff and things like that. So I feel like that was like a turning point, especially for women, to see like how they started like viewing relationships. And I think a lot of women started getting like kind of scared, because you started having all of this information being funneled out saying that like, oh, like once you turn 30, like something's probably wrong with you because like you don't have children or like you're not in a relationship. So like closer to 30, that was when I kind of started like having a mindset shift, and I'm kind of like, ooh, maybe I should be moving different. Like maybe I should actually be trying to find one person and like dealing with this one person. And so once again, it wasn't a shortage of men that I had options of to be able to like take me out on dates. And like literally, I remember like I was living at my dad's house at the time because I was taking a break from work. His kitchen table was filled with roses because I had went on like 4 dates in a row. The first day for every man, they had like bought me roses. Like they really were trying to like impress me and like, you know, do all these things for me and like yada yada yada. So this is a time where I'm like, okay, I'm trying to find somebody, like I'm using power in numbers, and like I'm really trying to like find this one person, because you know, there's this unwritten rule that by 30, this is kind of what you're supposed to do. So as I'm like, and the thing about it is this, because I only dealt with men and I only wanted fun with them, my tolerance has always been low. My tolerance has always been low for bullshit. I kind of feel like your ability to stay in a relationship long term with a man is going to be based off of the ability of how much bullshit you want to tolerate. I am a firm believer in that. The length of your relationship with a man is going to be determined off of how much bullshit you want to tolerate. And I've never been one to want to tolerate a whole lot of bullshit. So I ended up getting an actual serious relationship out of that time that I was kind of like dating seriously to find somebody. And I literally made a promise to myself, and I was like, if this relationship doesn't work out, I am not going to date anymore. I'm not going to date anymore. It takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of energy, and no matter how optimistic you are, the other shoe is going to drop. The other shoe may not drop right now. It may not drop tomorrow. It may not drop 10 years from now. It may not drop 30 years from now. But at some point, what I started to realize is that at some point, a situation is going to happen when you are with a man, and that is going to be the situation in which he takes the opportunity to show you that he really wasn't all what you thought he was cracked up to be. You had him pedestalized for so long, and you're only one situation away between seeing who a man really is. And I just started seeing this pattern with all the men that I was dating. And I would always ask myself, what situation is going to happen? What situation is going to happen to show me who this man really is? And I just started noticing the pattern. I started noticing the pattern that, like, it's only one situation between how great everything is going now and how it's just not going to be great anymore. My last relationship, once we had crossed that path where a situation had came up and I saw how he didn't handle it well, he cracked under pressure. And I think for me, this has always been a turn off for me with men. And that's what's really deterred me from wanting to be with them long term. Men crack under pressure. Men have to have a perfect scenario 24/7, 365 in order for them to maintain this persona that they have shown to you. Everything has to be perfect. If there is one thing that changes, even if it is even if it is a very small, minute thing that changes, they are going to crack under pressure and they are going to respond in a way that is just so large that it completely ruins the dynamic and it throws the energy off. That was like one thing that I had noticed with all of my relationship. It didn't take much for a man to be destabilized. And then he will use that destabilization that nobody has control over. It's completely outside of people's control. He would then use that destabilization to take it out. He would try to use that destabilization and take it out on me. So because you didn't create a perfect environment for this man to thrive, it's now your fault, because you have to be God in these relationships with men, and you have to know how to be a shapeshifter. You have to know how to be able to just coddle him and keep him protected in his little bubble. And then when you're not able to do that, it's all going to be your fault. That shit got on my nerves. That shit got on my nerves. It would frustrate me so much. And then the thing about it is that it's completely negating of how men are supposed to be, because men are supposed to be protectors. They're supposed to be providers. They're supposed to be so strong, and women are so weak, and men are so much more logical, and yada, yada, yada. And I would see that was not the reality. They would crack over the smallest freaking things. And it would be so hard for me to look at these men and give them this so-called respect when really it's just worship. They don't want respect. They want somebody to worship them. It would be so hard for me to look at these men and respect them and be turned on by them and like them when I would see how easy they would crack under pressure. And how upset they would get over one small minor inconvenience. And then put the onus on the woman to be the one to have to deal with all of these things, as if it's not impacting you too, as if the situation hasn't impacted both people. So not only do you have to sit with your own thoughts and feelings of how it's impacting you personally, you also have to unpack the feelings that the man has, because he's pushing those feelings onto you and projecting those feelings onto you because he's not doing the work of actually sitting down with like the situation that has happened. I got sick of that shit. I got so frustrated. And so the last relationship that I was in, I ended up breaking up with him. And he spent a ton of money on me. Like, in all honesty, if someone were to look at the problems that we had in a relationship, I mean, I feel as though it was deemed worthy for me to like leave him, but I walked away immediately. And guess what? That was in March of this year. I've yet to be on a dating app. I've yet to go out on a date. I've yet to take up any man on an offer to reach out to me or to want to take me out on a date or any of that. Because over time, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. I don't need to, and the thing about it is that I've dated a lot of people. I have dated a lot of people. I went out on a lot of dates, and I'm only 32. I'm only 32. And it got to the point where I'm like, I know I've dated a lot of people. I know I've spent time with a lot of people. If it's been 10 years worth of time invested for me to be shown the same thing every single time, I am sorry. I could have another 10 years be spent and get a much better return on my investment, as opposed to me putting energy into these situations and I'm being shown the same thing over and over and over and over. And the thing about it is that you have to have pattern recognition when it comes to these things. A lot of women don't have pattern recognition because they're constantly painting this picture of a fantasy in their head of how things should play out. So when you're constantly looking forward to how something is supposed to look, you're never paying attention to how things really look. I never had a fantasy in my head because, once again, I never had that thought in my brain that I'm really not never, but for most of the time that I was dating, I was not having that mindset of I have to find this one person. I have to find this Prince Charming. A man is going to be a Prince Charming until he doesn't feel like he needs to be Prince Charming anymore. It's really that simple. Because men don't have anything to benefit by being Prince Charming over just forever in a situation with you. So I kind of got to the point where I'm like, I'm not getting anything out of this. I'm not getting anything out of this. I make more than enough money. I make more than enough money. I am self-validated. I don't have any issues with being alone or spending time with myself. I don't care about doing things alone. I don't care about having to be partnered up to do anything. I don't have any fear centered around me dying alone. I don't have any fear centered around someone not being there to take care of me because I come from a healthcare background. I've worked in healthcare for 8 years. I know what life is going to look like for a man that dies alone, and I know what life is going to look like for a woman that dies alone. And for any woman that has that fear, I can tell you with 100% certainty as a woman, you're not going to die alone. Even if you're the last person in your whole family alive, even if you're the last person out of all of your friends that are alive, you're not going to die alone. Women are so good at making community with people that are strangers, people that they have only known for a couple hours. Even if there is no one that you know personally to be there by your side to die with, I promise you, there's going to be somebody holding your hand that's going to be there in your last moments. I promise you. And it doesn't have to be someone that you just keep on this ride with you for your whole entire life. Women have way more power. Women have way more positive energy to give out to other people, where people will want to be there for you and they don't even have to know you like that to really want to be there for you in your last moments, in your final moments. So it never has to be this long-term thing, because I'm sorry, I'm just a firm believer that the more time that you spend with the man, the more you're going to lose yourself, the more sacrifices that you are going to make in comparison to a man. And I'm sorry, to me, it's not worth it to be dying with someone, because that's not guaranteed. That's not guaranteed. It's these things that women have to be sold to believe that it's true, and it's not. Nothing lasts forever. Even if you've been married for 60 years, if your husband dies before you, you're dying alone. I mean, everyone dies alone in most cases, but you're dying alone. Most women outlive men anyway. So your husband's not going to be there to take care of you. Your husband's not going to be there to take care of you. You're going to outlive your husband anyway. And there's no guarantee that your children are going to be there to take care of you. Your children are going to be off in the sunset with their own family, with their own wife, with their own husband, with their own children. So there's not even a guarantee that they're going to be there to take care of you. It's this It's this boogeyman mindset that patriarchy has had to sell to women to make women feel like I have to find this one person and be with this one person at the expense of myself, at the expense of my freedom. Because I'm sorry, you're not going to be married to a man and have the freedom to do whatever you want to do. Men get to be married to women and they get to have the freedom to do whatever they want to do. If they wake up and they decide, you want to know what? We live in Washington and I want to go for a job in Florida. Guess what? Women are not going to think twice about picking up, moving away from their family, making their children change school districts, making their children have to make new friends and start all over. They're not going to care. They're going to have to, they're going to be a little bit upset. And guess what? They're going to, before they know it, they're going to be packing up their bags and getting their U-Haul. And before they know it, they're going to be in Florida in a place where they don't know anybody, where they don't fit in, where they don't know anyone, because their husband decided, you want to know what's best for the family, what's best for the family, when really what's best for the family is just what's best for him. Because everyone's life has to completely change and they have to tell you, oh, we have to speak, we have to say we like we're French now, because really it's about me. But obviously you're not going to want to do this if I just make it about me. So I have to try to do the selling point of, oh, it's best for the family if we all decide to move. And so then before you know it, you're isolated from everybody, you're upset, you're lonely, and you're the one making the sacrifices. You don't hear too many stories about women saying, there is a job that is across the country and I want to go for that job. Their relationship is going to end. The relationship is going to end because men don't put themselves in predicaments where they're not the main character. You cannot be in a relationship with men and be the main character as a woman. You cannot. It's going to be a very, very, very small percentage that's possible. Obviously, it's not impossible, but it's not probable. It's not probable that you're going to be able to be the main character in a relationship. And as a woman, this is the reason why they want to have women that are younger. When you are younger, you don't have anything to protect. When you're younger, you don't have anything of your own. When you are young, you don't have anything to give up. So it's going to be way easier for you to make all of these sacrifices because you don't have anything to sacrifice. When you're older and you're rooted in your career, you're rooted in where you live, you're rooted in your friendships, you're rooted in your family, it makes it much harder when you value those things, because that's the thing, you have to put enough value on these things. We all pretty much have a job. We all pretty much have a family. We pretty much all have some sense of community. The issue is that women don't value those things because you're taught not to value them because they're not a man. You're taught that your value system is supposed to come from a man. And so you have to be willing to get rid of all of those things in order to have a man. When in reality, that makes no sense. Why would you be putting yourself in a predicament where you would be relying on one person? No person is that powerful. I'm sorry. No person is that powerful for you to go out of your way to abandon all of your community to go be with the man. No one is that powerful. No one can protect you that much. I'm sorry. They will try to make it seem as if they are. No single person can protect you that much. So you have to place enough value on the things that you have around you, so that way you think twice about what you're really giving up. When you don't value the things that are around you, those are going to be the very same things that you're going to be calling out to. Or even better yet, what tends to happen is this. When you don't value like your job, your location, your friends, your community, your hobbies, when you don't value these things and you decide that you value a man more, and so you get on his program, what ends up happening is that a lot of women abandon all those things. By the time they realize I fucked up, I'm in a really sticky situation because I'm getting financially abused. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Soy La Resilient Alchemist. Appreciate you. By the time you realize that you are in a predicament that it's going to be harder for you to get out of, because a lot of the time men want to isolate you from this, Women understand, fuck, I haven't reached out to my girlfriend in 6 months. I haven't reached out to my family in a year. What am I going to look like? What am I going to look like reaching out to them 6 months to a year later, telling them that my boyfriend is hitting on me, my boyfriend is financially abusing me? It's going to look fake. It's going to look fake as hell. It's going to really come off like you're trying to use people after you've abandoned them because you didn't see any value in them. And so what happens is that a lot of women are like, you want to know what? I'm suffering in silence at this point because I understand that if I reach out to these people after I've abandoned them because I put so much value on my relationship, they're not going to take me seriously. So I'm just not even going to say anything. And so this is when women are just like, you want to know what? I'm just going to pretend like everything is perfect. Like I'm not going to complain about anything. And that's really dangerous. For men that want to put you in really dangerous predicaments, that's the mindset that they want you to have. That's why they will say like, oh, I don't want you to talk to this person or talk to that person, yada, yada, yada. No, because the whole situation is traumatizing. Dating is traumatizing. Okay. I don't need to be married to somebody and to have children with somebody and to sacrifice all of these things and be traumatized every day or to be traumatized once a week. Dating is traumatizing. I'm sorry. I'm tired of women pretending like it's not traumatizing. And I'm tired of men trying to make it seem as if the experience that they give to women is not traumatizing. Dating is fucking traumatizing. Every time you get on a dating app, every time you give your man a number, every time you invite a man over or you go over to his house, you are most likely putting yourself in a traumatizing predicament. And the level of trauma for a woman dealing with a man is way higher than the level of trauma men would have to endure when it comes to women. Men are having traumatic experiences because they got rejected. Women are having traumatic experiences being SA'd. Men are having traumatic experiences because someone didn't listen to them. Women are having traumatic experiences being unalived on the earth. It's not the same. Men will try to sit here and try to make it seem equal. Well, we have trauma too. It's not on the same level. The risk is way higher for a woman to be dating men than it is for a man to be dating a woman. The risk is way higher. Even sleeping with them, you are at a much higher risk because you can get pregnant. STDs are passed off easier to the person who is being penetrated. It's very, very risky to be dealing with men. And I'm sorry, I'm so tired of it being sold to women that you should just ignore these risks. That's why they don't tell you about these risks. That's why they don't tell you these statistics that happen about the fact that the number one cause of death for a pregnant woman is from her partner. They don't want women to know these things. They don't want women to understand the harm and danger that they're putting themselves in every time they decide to date someone. When you get on the internet, all you hear about are stories about how women are having these dating experiences and they're like this close. They were this close to having something be done to them. They were put in a predicament that they were extremely uncomfortable. They were put in a predicament where the man was trying to shit on their self-esteem and humble them and make them feel bad about themselves. For what? Deal with these circumstances for what? What is the end goal? What is so amazing that you're going to be getting from a man and from a relationship where dealing with that stuff is worth it? And I just woke up one day and I was like, I'm not going to keep putting myself in these traumatizing experiences to hopefully be with someone that isn't going to traumatize me. It should not be that difficult. It should not be that difficult. I'm sorry. It should not be that hard. Making $1 million is going to be easier. It's going to be easier than me going through all of these traumatizing experiences with multiple men to try to find one. I'm sorry. I rather go on the trajectory to become a millionaire. I rather go on the trajectory to fucking invest in real estate or learn a new skill or create a greenhouse or something like that. I rather just go through the things that that would be required of me to learn to accomplish those things than to sit here and waste my time, waste my energy, and to repeatedly be let down. Because let's face it, when women have this end goal of like marriage and this end goal of finding someone and this end goal of finding your Prince Charming, you are setting yourself up to be repeatedly disappointed. You're setting yourself up to repeatedly be disappointed, and people don't want you to face that reality. This is why whenever you talk about, oh, I don't want to date, I don't want to be with someone, people are always trying to put the rose colored glasses back onto you. Have you ever noticed that? People want to call you jaded and bitter, and then people want to instill optimism within you because they don't want you to face the truth of the fact that this is disappointing. This is demoralizing. This is dehumanizing, and I don't want to be a part of this. When you actually say it, when you actually just state the experience that you're having and what it is, nobody wants to validate you. Everybody wants to try to just get you back into submission and completely cloud your judgment, because guess what? You bringing up the reality to other people would then mean that they have to face the reality that is in front of them. This is a reason why I don't have these conversations with people out in the real world. I do not have conversations like this with people out in the real world because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear the reality of the fact of, yeah, you've been signing up for a life of disappointment. You've been signing up for a life of trauma. You've been signing up for a life of unhappiness. And because I realize that that's actually what I would be signing up for if I decide to play this game with men, and if I decide to keep dealing with these men, that's how my life will look, and I don't want to have it. They have to self-soothe themselves by trying to pretend like they're self-soothing you by saying, well, you may not want kids now, but if you meet the right person, you'll probably want kids, or you need to be more optimistic. There are good men out there. That doesn't negate the fact that you're still saying that I have to submit myself to being traumatized repeatedly in order to find this potential good man. Because they're never disagreeing with that part. They're never disagreeing with the experience that you had and saying like, oh, well, you can absolve yourself from having that experience. It'll be worth it once you find the good man. No, the fuck it's not, because there's no guarantee I'm going to find this good man. There's no guarantee that I'm going to find this person. And then if I do find this person, there is no guarantee that I'm going to be with this person forever. And there is no guarantee that this person is going to stay a good person. It's like all of these lies. Relationships are built off of lies that people have to tell themselves to keep playing the fucking game of relationships. That's really what it is. How long can I lie to myself to keep playing this relationship game? How often do I have to lie to myself to pretend like everything is okay? How often do I have to keep laughing to avoid from crying every night? Like, no. At some point, the cycle's gonna end. This whole thing of, the whole point of marriage is to be with each other forever. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. Thank you for the super chat, Candy B. Yeah, the truth hurts. The truth hurts. Everyone wants to avoid the truth. No one wants to just sit with the reality that this shit is rigged. They want you to play a game that was specifically rigged. And they want to get mad at you and call you names and shit talk you when you realize that it's a scam and that it's a rigged game that you no longer want to play. Because the purpose was for you to never win the game. The purpose was for them to make a promise to you and saying that just keep playing, just keep playing. It's fucking penny slots. It's gambling. It's literal gambling with your life, with your energy, with your youth, with your beauty, with your patience, with your nurturing, with your empathy. I'm sorry. I value those things way too much to be gambling them in order to have somebody choose me. Choose me for what? You're choosing me to cook and clean and tolerate cheating and put up with a ton of bullshit and humiliate me, and I have to pretend like everything is okay just to say that I got chosen. I have to sit here and wait. I have to sit here and wait for somebody used up to choose me. Like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna fucking flip it back on men. I have to sit here and wait for somebody used up to choose me. Because according to male logic, men are the ones that get to sleep around with everybody. Men are the ones that their value goes up when they're sleeping up with everyone. So I have to wait for an average used up man to choose me in order for me to be a servant and a slave to him. No, it's not fucking happening. I absolutely refuse. I am not going to sit here and behave and be a good girl and be pure to wait for someone used up to fucking choose me. That sounds crazy. That sounds fucking insane. And you literally have women over here they're sitting here, they're over here praying, they're over here praying, they're over here wishing, they're over here just so optimistic to have a used up man, a traumatized, average, used up man choose them. For what? For what? I'm gonna sit here and wait for a man that's expecting for me to go 50-50 to choose me. Like, make it make sense. I'm sorry, I can't hate myself that much. I cannot hate myself that much because in my opinion, you don't love yourself when you're waiting here to be chosen by a man. You don't love yourself. You're trying to replace the lack of love that you have within yourself with a man, and with an average man at that. With a man that can't do shit for you. You hate yourself so much that you rather wait for somebody used up, average, and can't change your life because you hate yourself that much. No, it's not happening. I love myself too much. That will never be an option for me. That will never be an option for me. I'm tired of this narrative that women have to fucking lie to themselves and tell themselves to make it seem as if men are way more important than they really are. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There is nothing life-changing. There is nothing life-changing that they are offering. And they will sit here and say, oh, we built the world. Okay, you didn't build the world for fucking free. You built the world because it was your job and you got paid to do it. Like, let's not fucking sit here and make it seem as if men are over here thinking about women when it comes to them creating a design. The reason why we have all the things that we have is because they had to exploit a ton of men in order for it to be here in the first place. And men don't even want to acknowledge that. They don't even want to acknowledge the fact that they were exploited by the 1% billionaire men to be able to capitalize off of their labor. But because they hate women so much and they want to punch down on somebody, they don't want to even look up at the person that is being the puppet master on their whole creation and existence. And then simultaneously take the credit for the 1% men and then get mad at the fact that women want the 1%ers. When the 1%ers are accomplishing everything, the average men are like, yes, good job. And then by the time that they realize, like, oh, the 1%ers actually have value and they have money and they have resources, and I actually could benefit by being with the 1%ers. Oh, well, women only want 20%. They only want the 20% of men, and they don't want the last 80% of men. You're riding the dicks of the 20%. Why would we not want them? You're continuously riding the dicks of the 20% men. Why would we not want those men when you're even riding their dick? You're even giving them praise. You're even giving them your money. Why would we not want them? It makes no sense. It makes literally no freaking sense. Why would I not want to be with the people that you say that you want to be like? VANCE, because I don't want them doing nothing crazy with my channel. I don't want them doing nothing crazy with the video. VANCE If you look him up, he's changed his name like 4 times. He's changed his name like 4 times because he's trying to hide something. So even I believe that because he's literally changed his name so many times. He's trying to hide something. And girl, I wouldn't even want the 1%. I wouldn't even want the 1% because I can make my own money. I can make my own money. Y'all already know I was sprinkle. I'm sorry. The sprinkle girls are gonna realize that the sprinkle stuff is fun. There's an expiration date on that shit too. There's an expiration date on that shit too with the sprinkle. You're gonna get sick of what comes along with dealing with men while you're doing the sprinkle. It's always fun at the beginning, especially if you're a woman who is like used to dealing with men and they're not giving you anything. There's like levels. There's like levels to it. Once you've dealt with the dust, you're like, okay, I'm going to get my sprinkle on. Then eventually you're like, you want to know what? I'm making my own money. These men are putting me in a predicament where I can make enough money. I don't need their money. Then you realize like, I don't even want to deal with them for the money. And you're literally talking to somebody that's been doing that lifestyle since she was 19. I've literally been getting money and resources and things from men since I was fucking 19. There is no amount of money that a man could offer me where I would want to tolerate one. I have my own money. I know how to earn more money. I know how to make more money. And I've learned from all of the men that I've dealt with in my past on how to create multiple streams of income. I have a father that has multiple streams of income who has taught me a lot and would have no problem teaching me how to make more money. Their presence, because guess what? It's my energy. It's my energy. I'm not willing to give up my feminine energy to be with a man in order for them to pay me money. I'm not willing to do it. Not anymore. Not anymore. It's not worth it to me. Like I'm just gonna be the rich man. I'm just gonna be the rich man and call it one. Cause I'm too exhausted. It's too exhausting. The energy of a man is heavy. The energy of a man is very heavy. Once you get in tune with yourself as a woman, once you really practice self-mastery and you really become one with yourself, you are going to realize that you can feel the heavy energy that a man possesses. And you're literally going to feel them siphoning you. And you're going to realize that over time, the money's not going to be worth it because you literally can feel the energy leave your body. You literally can feel them siphoning your energy. You literally will leave these interactions from these men and be fucking drained. Be fucking drained. Because on a spiritual level, there is so much that men have to gain from women. This is why men are always trying to put the tangible things in women's faces. They're constantly trying to keep women on this 3D level of everything being tangible. This is the reason why they always talk about 50-50. They're only talking about 50-50 when it comes into terms for finances because they don't want you to realize the value of non-tangibles that you're bringing to them. That's why they say, when you have a woman, a house becomes a home. A house becomes a home, not because she's giving 50-50. A house becomes a home because her feminine energy being present in the home, that nurturing, that caring, that level of energy, you can't put a price on that. That's what they don't want y'all to know. You cannot put a price on that. Once somebody zaps your energy, once somebody drains your energy, you cannot get that energy back. You can't get that energy back from that person. You have to then go inward and transform that energy. Thank you. Thank you, Lala Didi, for the super chat. I appreciate you. You have to go and alchemize that energy because energy cannot be created nor can it be destroyed. You cannot get that energy back from a man once he siphoned it from you. You can't. You can't get it back. This is why when there are a lot of women who end up leaving a relationship, they're like, I don't feel like myself. I feel like a different person. Yeah, because he siphoned all your energy. And every time I would go back in the dating pool, I would leave exhausted. I would leave exhausted and leave so tired. I would leave so tired from being in the dating pool. I'm like, it's not supposed to be this hard. It's not supposed to be this hard. I did bodybuilding competitions. I did an hour of fucking cardio in the morning on the Stairmaster. I lifted for a fucking hour and did an hour of cardio at night, eating like 40 grams of carbs. Tired as hell. That was easier than having to be in a relationship with men. That was easier than having to be in a relationship with a man because at least I had a strong, dignified why behind me doing it. And I could materialize how I wanted that reality to look behind why I was doing it. I am sorry, the why behind keeping a man is not deep enough for me to ever feel like I want to keep a man around. The why is not deep enough. The why is not strong enough. It's never going to be strong enough for me. It's never going to be strong enough for me because I don't value what they have to bring. Because what are they bringing? What are they bringing? They will say protect and provide. Okay, there was a concert about 6 to 8 weeks ago. There was a woman who was getting beat up. I mean, this man was landing punches on this girl, and it's a concert full of fucking people. Not one man came to help her. Billie Eilish literally was just at a concert and a man literally yanked her as she was walking. It wasn't a man that protected her. A fucking woman protected her and got that man off of her. Every time there is something that is happening in the news, when there is something going on with a woman, you never, ever, ever see a man being the person to step in to help. It's very rare. It's very, very rare that you are seeing men step in to help. So if you can see someone physically being harmed and you wouldn't step in, what would make me think that being in a relationship would be enough for you to feel incentivized to want to protect me? Because men say this all the time. How are you going to be a wife and you're not showing me that you can be a wife? Okay, how are you going to be my protector when you're not out in public protecting women and I don't see you protecting women? They want you to be a wife when they want you to do all these wifely things before they give you the ring, and they don't want to do anything. They don't want to do anything to be at the level that they claim that they're supposed to be out in public. Because I'm sorry, men are not in a relationship with women and protecting women daily. This is the reason why they have to say stuff like, what if someone burglarizes the place? What if someone burglarizes the place? You know how often men forget to lock the fucking door? You know how often there are literally home videos of home invasions, and it's the woman that's actually going after the attacker. It's actually the woman going to get the firearm and going after the attacker. So, because it's always with men, it's this sporadic thing. The laundry list of what men want you to do is shit you have to do daily. Cook, clean, laundry, And they're gonna say, well, for cooking and cleaning every day and for laundry every day, you get to have someone live under your roof just in case someone burglarizes you. Just in case someone burglarizes you, you get protection from me. Okay, who's to say you're going to be there on the night that we get burglarized? Who's to say that we will get burglarized? So I have to cook and clean for you. This is a weekly thing that I have to do. This is a weekly thing that I have to do. And in exchange for something that I have to do regularly, I get someone that might protect me if said situation happens. And if they're there to protect me, I'll just go buy a firearm, which I have. I have a firearm. I literally have a firearm. I think I will be okay. I have survival instincts. I think I'll be okay. I've done self-defense classes. I think I'll be okay. I don't think that I need to be a slave day in and day out to have somebody live under the same roof as me in case something happens. It doesn't make any sense to do these things long term when all men throw at you are very sporadic things. Oh, well, who's going to cut the grass? If you live in a place that has all 4 seasons, you're going to cut the grass what, 10 times a year? You're going to cut the grass what, 10 times a year? I can literally change my own oil. I can change my own oil. You're only one YouTube video away from knowing how to change your own oil, and I know how to cut the grass. I know how to cut the grass. And then if I don't want to go on ahead and change my own oil, I'll just go take it to a mechanic. I'll hire a lawn service. So all of these things that they're trying to make it seem as if, oh, well, for XYZ, you get this. So you want me to do labor 90% of the time to match your 10%. You want me to do labor 90% of the time to match your 10%, and you want to hide all of that and ask me to go 50-50. And this is why I say 50-50 makes sense to men until you actually explain 50-50. I have no problem going 50-50. I will gladly go 50-50. You do your laundry, I do my laundry. You do your dishes, I do my dishes. You cook your food, I cook my food. We do everything 50-50. The 9 months that I have a baby are the 9 months that I'm creating a baby are the 9 months that you have to feed the baby. You have to wake up for the baby. It's no longer my baby for 9 months because I did my part already for 9 months. So now it's your turn. You get the baby for 9 months. Then after that, it's 50-50. I end up waking up in the middle of the night, and then you wake up in the middle of the night. You drop off the kid at school, I drop off the kid at school. You help with homework one day, I help with homework one day. They want you to do 50-50% in finances and then 100% and then 100% of everything else. We don't have the same legal, political, or social rights. Women don't even get the onus to be able to have the ability to have health care in case they end up having a pregnancy that isn't viable. It's just dumb talk. Thank you, girl. Thank you, Lauren. This is equal rights. This is equal rights. They have the same talking points. You all wanted feminism. You all wanted equal rights. If we have equal rights, then why can't you have a baby? If it's equal rights, why can't you have a baby? Because it was never equal. Because we're superior. We're superior to the point where we don't need you. That's the whole point. It was never equal. It was never equal. A woman can do more than what a man does. A woman can always do more than what a man does because a man will never be able to give birth. A woman can build a house. A woman can cook. A woman can clean. a woman is always going to be able to do more than what a man does. We were never equal. Women were always superior to men because no matter the laundry list of things that men give, you're never going to be at the fact that you can create life. You're never going to be able to do that. We were never equal. We were never equal. You can add a laundry list of every single thing that you can do, and a woman's always going to be able to do one more thing than you. Always. It was never going to be equal. It never was equal. Men didn't build the system. Men exploited you to build a system to make them money. Y'all are stupid. Y'all are stupid. They built a system to make you a slave. They exploited men to build buildings so that way they could be the 20% you all complain about. They set up men to be slaves. The men that had wealth were like, hey, men, come be our slave. Let's put you in the military. Let's put you in the military so that way we can give you PTSD and then not help you when you come back from war. Let's put a paycheck in your hand so that way you could build all of our buildings for everybody and we exploit your labor and then make us rich and you don't even get a fraction of what it is that you're able to make. But at the same time, we're going to teach you to hate women. That way you don't pay attention to the fact that you're being exploited. Because everything that men have created is through exploitation. Everything that men have created has been through exploitation. You're on soil that was through the exploitation of slavery. You have a phone in your hand that exploits the people in Congo to put cobalt in your fucking phone. You have a group of women and children and people who are in impoverished countries who they had to exploit for you to be able to wear the clothes that are on your back. For you to be able to type on the keyboard. People are suffering and exploiting through that. So make sure you add that part. Make sure you add that part when you talk about the system. Make sure you add that part when you talk about the system that men have built. The system that men have built has been based on exploitation. So make sure you add everything when we talk about what men are contributing. Add everything. Yes, and they're going to sit here and say, women built the system. You didn't let women fucking go to college. You didn't let women fucking have the right to vote. You didn't let women fucking have a bank account. You didn't give women the option to be able to build anything in the beginning to begin with. All you did was impregnate young girls because you did it through marriage because the whole basis of marriage is through fucking ownership. It's slavery. It was the slavery of women. It was the transfer of a fucking it was transfer from father to another man. When you get married and you have the act of the father giving the daughter away, that's slavery. From owner to new owner. That's what it means when you are giving your daughter away. You are transferring ownership. That's why you lose your last name. Your last name changes to your new owner. And Marcus is probably with a black man with a last name that has ownership. That literally has his name different through ownership through slavery. And they know this. They freaking know this because they understand when it comes to race. They easily understand when it comes to race. It's the only time that they understand it then. Exactly. It's illegal. It's the transfer of fucking father to another person. The man that wanted to marry the girl had to prove to the father that he could financially take care of her. The last name that you had was literally based off of someone buying you. It literally was based off of someone fucking buying you. And they will sit here and try to tell you equal rights this, equal rights now. You all fought for feminism. Yeah, we fought for feminism to not be a fucking slave and to be bought and sold. What don't you fucking get? They have the same talking points over and over and over and over, and they can't break the logic down behind their fucking talking points. It's nothing but third grade level fucking intellect of repeating the same talking points over and over and over again, thinking that it's actually going to make a difference on the reality that's been proven to us, the reality that's been shown to us. They're asking you for 50, they're asking you for 50-50 when they've had rights to from the beginning of time. These are the same men that are asking you for 50-50, and they had a head start. Why are you asking a group of people for 50-50 when we got rights 60 years ago? Men have never had a time where they didn't have rights. They've never had a time where they didn't have rights. So why are you asking for 50-50? What have you done? What have you done your entire lifetime? What has your bloodline done the entire time of the male existence for them to not be in a position where they would be equipped to provide? What are y'all doing? What was your father and your grandfather doing all of this time when you all have always had rights? What has your bloodline been doing all of this time that y'all have been able to go to college, vote, have a bank account? What have y'all been doing for you to still need to be asking for 50-50? You want to be lazy and have women pick up the slack that you come from a bloodline of lazy men. That's really what it is. You want women to make up for the fact that you've had rights your entire existence, and you want women to compensate for the fact that you come from a lazy fucking bloodline. Because no man that actually has actually worked himself up would even ask such a thing. No man that wouldn't be lazy would even ask such a thing. Relationships aren't 50-50. They're not 50-50. A relationship's never going to be 50-50 because a woman can do more. A woman can do more, and the expectation is for her to do more. Until a man can give birth, until a man can give birth, it's never going to be 50-50. Thank you, Carmen, for the Cash App. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. And once again, I think for all the women, like, once again, men don't contribute anything. Men don't contribute anything. The women per usual, providing, supporting one another. All men want to do is to come in and give their useless opinion. Exactly. That's why I said, if they want to go 50-50, we can go 50-50. I don't mind going 50-50. We pay 50% of the bills, right? We pay 50% of the bills. You do your laundry, I do my laundry. You cook your food, I cook my food. You do your dishes, I do my dishes. We split the pregnancy. We split the time with the child. We split the initiation with sex. That's 50-50. I have no problem with that. Because I go 50-50 with roommates. You go 50-50 with roommates. You all split the rent so that everything is equally. I don't do roommates as when I have roommates. I don't do roommates as dishes. I don't do roommates laundry. That's 50-50. But that's not that, but they don't want to sign up for that. They don't want to sign up for that because then they realize, oh shit, it's not just based off of finances. Yeah, you literally could split all of that. You literally could split all of that. We literally can split every single thing down the middle. But men aren't saying that. Men are not abiding by this. Because guess what? Men are trying to make it seem, how often do you cut the grass? You cut the grass 10 times a year. Oh, whoop-de-doo. I have to cut the grass 5 times a year. Men don't like to go out. Men don't like to repeatedly go out because men are cheap and men are lazy. So what? We're going to have to split 50% of what? The 30 times that we're going to go out a year? Not even 30. 30 is actually very, very high. So what, we're going to have to go 50-50 on the one vacation we take a year? The 5 times each that we're going to have to fucking mow the grass? The 3 times a year that we're going to have to change the oil? No. Y'all making it seem as if you all have to do more regularly than women do. No. What men have to offer is fucking sporadic. You don't have to cut the grass every day. You don't have to change the oil every day. You don't go on vacations every day. They're trying to make it seem as if this 50% of the bullshit that they contribute is going to be adding on this, oh my God, it's just so much extra. No, the fuck it's not, because you don't have to do it every day. They can't even get you to an orgasm 50% of the time. The orgasm gap is like 30% for women to get. You guys can't even get women off 50% of the time. Okay, smart ass. You know you don't wash clothes every day, but you wash clothes more than you would have to fucking mow the lawn, change your oil, and go on vacations. Quit being fucking stupid. And guess what? I could hire somebody. All of those things can be outsourced. All of those things can be outsourced. I've never had a man require me to cook. I've never had a man require me to clean. I've never had a man require me to go 50-50. So it's never been these are the men that you are with, because it's never been a reality. Look at me. That's why you're here, because you like what you see. You know no man is asking me to go 50-50. You know no man is asking for me to cook and clean. That's why you're here. You're here because you like what you see, and you don't understand the audacity behind a girl that's attractive and why she's choosing to opt out. Because I have way more to offer. I have way more to offer, and I don't want what y'all are selling. I don't want what y'all are selling. Despite all of that, I don't want what y'all are selling. There are plenty of women that do. There are plenty of women that do, but yet men want to come. They want to constantly be coming to the women that are opting out, who don't want to be a part of the game. There are plenty of women that want to date y'all. There are plenty of women that want to go 50-50. There are a ton of women that want to go 50-50. A ton of them. They will cook. They will clean. They will do everything. I don't understand why y'all don't want those women. I don't understand why y'all don't want those women. And they make everything a competition. Who cares? Y'all didn't opt out first because y'all are getting divorced from 70% of the time. Men opted out first. Yeah, who's filing for a divorce? Men are opting out first, but who's divorcing first? Women are divorcing first. You're not opting out by choice. You're opting out because you've been forced to opt out. You can't go out on a date with a woman if the woman doesn't want to go out on a date with you. You can't stay married to a woman if a woman decides to divorce you. They continuously want the women who don't want to deal with him. They continuously want to deal with the women who just simply aren't interested. There are so many women that have no problem doing everything it is that you're saying. But I'm sorry, it's so hard for me to look at men and think they have an intellect when they make everything a competition. They make everything a competition. Why do you care about who opted out first? This is always the mindset with men. You didn't fire me, I quit. You didn't fire me, I quit. You can't get rid of me, I quit. You didn't fire me. Who cares? Who cares? This is all ego talk. This is all low level, low vibrational bullshit. That's protective ego talk. You can't fire me, I quit. Like, grow up. Grow up. Mhm. I don't even feel like you missed anything. Honestly, I don't feel like I don't even feel like you really missed anything, but you can always rewind it. You can always rewind it. But like I said before, they're gonna constantly want to be in spaces with women who are like, hey, um, we just want to chill out. We just want to chill out. She said Trey's been celibate, not by choice, crying to us in the comments. Child. Aren't they all DL anyway? Why the F are they here? Child, they didn't get a text back from the man they want to be with. They didn't get a text back from the man that they want to be with. They're trying to figure out why the man that they want to be with ain't texting back. So they just figure let's just go over here. Yep. She said Trey has been investing. He can afford his own airplanes. You don't need to feel bad for me. I mean, the thing about it is that the more you feel bad for me, the more energy I get to siphon from you. Like when people are like, I feel bad for you, I am so glad that you care about me that much where you would let me drain your energy that much to even feel bad for me. Like you care that much about a stranger that you would actually feel bad for me. That means that there's more energy that I have to siphon from you. Because in reality, they don't feel bad for you. They don't feel bad for you. They just don't understand it. They just don't understand how someone could be attractive and decide to not want to deal with men. Because I've done it all. I've done it all. I've went to therapy. And guess what? My therapist and my father agrees with me. My father doesn't blame me for making my decision cuz my father looks at y'all and he's like, I wouldn't if I was you, I wouldn't want to date their asses either. My dad has exposed men for me to not date them. My own father doesn't even see what the hype is about with men. Even my father says that a lot of these men are lazy. A lot of these men are lazy. We are. We're literally paying our own bills and doing everything, and we're saying that we don't want y'all. Yeah, you're the one begging. You're the one begging. This is literally saying, I refuse to date again. Here's why. The video is literally about how we don't want to deal with men. So how are we begging you for anything when we don't want to deal with you? You're upset over the fact that we're not begging you for anything. For what? What do we have to beg from you? What do we have to beg from you when we're opting out of dating? Like you're like men have to go so deep to grasp at straws to pump their ego up to get a sense of importance, to make them feel like a sense of importance, as if they're trying to make it seem as if it is for you to be an adult. This is what it's called to be an adult. Men have debt up the ass. Men have the highest amount of consumer debt. Men have the highest amount of consumer debt. Women have the most amount of educational debt. Men have the highest amount of consumer debt. Women have the most amount of college debt. Men have the most amount of consumer debt. Like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. Exactly. They having responsibilities. And this is the thing. Men still have debt. That's why I say they bring up the same talking points. They bring up the same talking points. let's keep triggering Trey, because now Trey is getting mad because he's getting beat with statistics. Trey is getting mad because the statistics are whooping his ass and he's running out of talking points. So here he comes with the insults. He's running out of talking points. He already used the women are equal. You all fought for equality. You have the highest amount of consumer debt. I'm surprised he hasn't used that we're used up and that we're 304s. He already called no, it wasn't Trey, it was Marcus. We're bitter. We're bitter, we're angry, we're jaded, we're old, we're gonna die alone with cats. I can buy what I need from a woman, and I love that for you. So go buy what you need. I love him. I love him. I was an S worker, so I wish we had more men that would just buy what the fuck they wanted, so that way they could shut up. If you could buy what you need from a woman, why are you here? If you could buy what you need from a woman, why aren't you here? Why are you here? Go spend your little $200 for your hour with a woman. Because listen, I'm never mad at a man that's going to pay for it. I'm never the world would this there would be so many more problems solved in the world if men just paid for it. If men just collectively decided, you want to know what, we need to just go on it, we'll just pay for it, life would be so much easier. Just pay for it. We do pay for it. It's called marriage. But didn't you just say that men opted out first? You just said that men opted out first. So if you opted out first, why are you thinking about marriage? Like, you see how they lie? You see how men just be lying over dumb shit? You see how you see how men just be lying over dumb shit? We opted out first. And then you just said that we pay for it. We pay for it in marriage. You really just said that we just pay for it in marriage, but you said you opted out first. He's saying he needs us he buys what he needs from us. Like, what? Just lying. Just here lying. And didn't he say earlier that he didn't need any woman? Oh, I don't need any woman. I don't need to deal with anybody. Okay, so then why are we bringing up marriage? You opted out. We have so much debt, remember? Why you want to marry somebody that has debt? I could tell you need a woman because you're still here. I could tell you didn't have to tell us that. I could tell you need a woman. I'm sure this is the most interaction you've had with one in a while. She said my designer bag my broke ex wouldn't pay for. I know that's right. I know that's right. I know that's right. Trey's just happy that he has someone pretty talking to him. I know this is a rare occurrence. I know this is a rare occurrence. So I got to make sure that I'm doing my due diligence in doing my contribution. Doing my contribution. Trey is pretty. Trey, you're the one that's pretty. You got to be over here to be pretty. Girl la la. Girl la la train. Girl la la. It's you, boo. You're the one that's pretty, or else you wouldn't be here. All you got to do is look in the mirror, Trey. You're the one that's pretty, boo. You're the one that's pretty. I know, I'm doing my contribution. I gotta give to charity. Trey looks a little bit, I don't know. Trey looks interesting. Davina, I manifested you back. I manifested you back. Okay, we had our fun with Trey. Trey is out. Marcus is in. It's time to go after Marcus now. Trey is out. Marcus is in. The women's empower movement started in the late 1800s. So those of us in the chat fought for equality. No, we are taking advantage of what those who fought didn't have. Exactly. She said, y'all remember on the game that literally was that guy's name, Trey Wiggs, the guy that Melanie slept with. The guy that Melanie slept with, his name literally was Trey Wiggs. Trey he did look like Ving Rhames. He did. I know, because Trey was invested. He probably, I gotta make a new account. I gotta get back in there so I can get in the chat. I need to get some attention. He probably working on his second account creation right now as we speak. He working on his second account as we speak. Because once they get started, they not stopping. New account with hair this time. He gonna Photoshop himself with a toupee on. He like, okay, if I add a wig this time and I change my name, maybe they won't notice. Except this time it's not gonna say Trey, it's gonna say Trey. Yeah, I blocked him. Well, I didn't block him. You can't block anybody on YouTube, but I just hid him from the channel. So he can still watch. But he can't comment anything. Trey. Marcus is still in here though. We could pick on Marcus. Where are you at, Marcus? I think it's so funny too, because literally on the last live stream, I was talking about how I couldn't stand men with like ghetto names, and one of the ghetto names I said was DeMarcus. And here we go, Marcus. I know. When men see, this is the thing. I do outwardly have a lot of masculine energy, and it attracts very emotional men. It attracts very, very emotional men because these men really do want somebody to yell at them, and these men really do want somebody to put them down. It's a kink that they have when they see a woman that's like so bold as I am. I attract a lot of the emotional men because they just really like that. It's a secret kink that they have. They want somebody to hurt their feelings. Cuz let me tell you, I do not be going over to male spaces like that. Especially not going back and forth, because why are you giving me energy to alchemize? Why are you giving me energy to alchemize on my platform? Why are you giving me energy to alchemize on my platform, bringing the energy over here? Like, obviously I'm going to use that energy. I do make money from here. They're popping in on a Friday. They're popping in on a freaking Friday. Like, sir, go cash your check. Go cash your check and go spend money on a woman. Why are you here? Do you attract feminine men? Because I do. I attract such feminine men. I attract the most feminine men. And here's the thing, I'm not mad about it. However, it's like, oh my God, I don't want to be a drill sergeant every goddamn day. I don't want to be a drill sergeant every goddamn day. She said, girl, same. I literally do their astrology charts, and their feminine energy is always more than mine. Always. Always. It's like, ugh. Yeah. They'll be here crying. They'll literally be here crying in the comments. And it's like, it's a Friday. Go cash your check and go spend money on a woman. It's really like, oh my God, Jesus. Where's my Palo Santo? It's not in front of me. My Palo Santo is not in front of me. Hold on. Let's go get I gotta go get the Palo Santo. I gotta go get the Palo Santo. Cause chow. So how long has it been since you have dated? Um Wait, was that in 2025? Actually, no. So I made a video and I said that I quit dating. It was actually March of 2024 that I quit dating. So actually, no, it was February. So over a year. So let me think: March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So what, like almost 2 years? A year and like 8 months. That's the last time that I dated. And I ain't had the desire to date. I ain't had the desire to date ever since. Ain't been on a dating app. Ain't, here y'all go. Here y'all go. Gotta cleanse, gotta get that positive energy back in after we had that dusty. The final straw. Um, the final straw was the fact that my last ex was so insecure, and I just got sick of this thing where men just always want me to be infallible. Men want me to be infallible, and a lot of men that I was dating, I would realize that they would put me on a pedestal. Look, the Palo Santo is still going too. The Palo Santo, like it was like it's working overtime. It's working overtime. So these men would pedestalize me, and they would not see me as human. They would see me as this perfect infallible person. And then once I was human, they didn't know how to handle me being human. They didn't know how to handle me being a human person with emotions, with the ability to actually like make a mistake. And I always would realize that in my relationships, I would always say to the man, like, you want me to be perfect. You expect for me to be perfect. Like, I would always find myself saying that. And the reason being is because that's really what it was. They would expect for me to be perfect. I can't live up to that. I cannot, and I refuse to live up to that. And so I got to the point where I was like, you want to know what? These men literally want me to be perfect. They want me to be a robot. They want me to be a robot. They don't see women as human. They see women as robots that just follow commands. They just follow commands, and they don't think for themselves, and they're just always on autopilot, and they don't have any feelings. They don't have any thoughts. They don't have any opinions. And I just got to my breaking point where I'm like, I can't live like this. I said, I can't live like this. I am a human being. I am a human being. Yeah, I shop on the Real Real. I shop on the Real Real a lot. I do. I shop on the Real Real a lot. The Real Real is like it's such a good consignment shop. Like if you ever want to get like not expensive but luxury handbags, the Real Real is where to go. It's where to go. I bought two I bought two handbags full price, and then I bought two pairs of shoes full price. Everything else designer I get from the Real Real. So worth it. Do you think this is a side effect of having a strong astrological chart? Mine leans Aries. Maybe. It could be. You're okay, Lauren. Welcome back. It's not that I'm actively choosing not to date, but having standards is forcing me out. Yeah, I get it. I just kind of feel like this. Um, for me, in my experience, I have met a lot of good men, but I haven't met a man as great as me. I'm just keeping it real. I've met a lot of good men, but I ain't met no man that is as good as me, that is as great as me. I just haven't. I got aura. I am a great vibe. I'm highly intellectual. I have great humor. Um, I know when to put my foot down. I have boundaries. Like, I'm just a vibe. And men just get jealous of that. Like, they just get jealous of like the magnetism that I have, how I can get attention, how I just radiate like such a good energy. Like, I'm the life of the party. I'm the life of the party. And men just don't know how to handle that. They just aren't okay with like having a back seat, like taking a back seat to that. Like it makes them feel some type of way. And it's like, I'm not going to reduce myself down. Like I am who I am. Like, I'm sorry. I'm a vibe and I just haven't met anybody. I haven't met a man where like he's just such a vibe. I'm sorry. Most men are boring. Most men are boring. Most men don't have a interesting personality. You know, in my opinion, most men don't have any thought-provoking type of conversation. It's just the same old conversation, very surface level, very full of fluff, unfulfilling. I could talk about it. I could talk about it on the spiritual channel. It's really just aura is just ascending. It's just ascending and knowing yourself. That's really how you create aura. When you know yourself and you're authentic, that's what creates aura. This is why men can't this is why men always talk about the liberal woman with the blue hair, the nose rings, the tattoos, because that is a sign of not conforming. This is why the rise of conservatism is always paralleled with being bland, because conservatism is conforming. They're both one in one. Anything conservative is traditional. You don't think for yourself. There is a regime you have to follow. There is a master that you have to listen to. There is no authenticity because men are not authentic. So that feel for by nature, that feels like home to them because it's easier for them to just say, okay, as long as I stay boring, I won't rock the boat. Men are too afraid to rock the boat. Have you ever been in a meeting with men before? Men don't like to speak up. Men don't like to state their issues. Men don't like to give their opinions. They don't like to really vocalize anything. They just kind of sit there, like, with their little pen or whatever, and, mm-hmm. They just sit there and listen. They don't really contribute anything. They just don't have that aura because they're not authentic. And they're threatened by the level that women go out of their way, not go out of their way, but they're very threatened by women that have a level of authenticity that goes against the grain. So this is why they don't like tattoos and piercings and stuff like that, because when you're doing that, you're letting them know that you can't be controlled because you don't want to follow the rules of conforming to what everybody else is doing. This is why at a time like this, they the homes, like, they want your homes to be gray. Like, if you're trying to, like, sell a home right now, they want the home to be muted colors. They want them to be just your basic primary colors, your gray, your black, your stuff like that. That's boring. That's bland. That's boring. That's bland. This is why, like, in this current climate, you should be wearing color. You should be wearing color. People were so. Did you guys see the comments on the live stream that I did yesterday? Did you see how people were pissed off over my makeup? Did you see how people were fucking pissed off over the fact that I wore color eyeshadow? I mean, there was literally a woman that left like 6 comments complaining about how she couldn't stand my makeup because color triggered her. Color triggered somebody. Color literally triggered somebody because we live in a world where everything has to be so muted and everything has to be so bland that people are literally triggered by fucking color. Don't get boring. Like, make sure you're wearing bright colors. Make sure you're wearing bright colors. Make sure that, like, you're making a statement with your clothing and things like that. The guy I'm seeing gave me grief about my new cross tattoo. Simply small Jesus cross. Makes sense. He's worried he won't be able to control me. Yeah, and see, I really only deal with men that have like, honestly, have I dealt with men that didn't have any tattoos? Yeah, I've dealt with a couple, but majority of the time, I'm dealing with men that have tattoos. I'm dealing with men that have tattoos because no, like, I'm sorry, grow the fuck up. It's 2025. If you have an aversion to tattoos, that tells me a lot about where you are mentally. That tells me a lot about where you are mentally. You care a lot about what people think about you. And I'm not saying that because you don't have tattoos, you think this. It's the aversion to tattoos. If you don't want to put something permanent on your body, you don't have to put something permanent on your body. But indifference is king. Just not caring. People that have an aversion to people with tattoos tells me a lot. It tells me a lot about their frame of thinking in their frame of mind. Or people that have piercings, people that they might have colored hair that's not, it's not a natural color or whatever. I don't like dealing with those people. And thank you for the compliment, because they love to hear themselves talk. And the thing about it is that they still, even when they're talking and talking and talking, they still don't contribute anything. Somebody said that they're with somebody and they have anxiety. Hold on. I don't know if somebody's still in the chat, but I know somebody commented something saying that they were getting anxiety or something with somebody that they were dating, I think. But your body keeps a score, child. I'm clear on if my body is talking, I'm always listening. Okay, if my body's talking, I'm always listening. Mhm. The guy I'm seeing is giving me anxiety. It was me, queen. You need to break up with him. You need to get away from him. You need to get away from him. They were shaking in presence of this man queen who, yeah, anytime I have anxiety, shaking, just you got to listen to your body. Your body is saying a lot. Your body is telling you a lot. Any man that you have anxiety around, you got to get away from him. You got to get away from him. I would be breaking up with him, me personally. I would be breaking up with somebody that was giving me anxiety because you have it for a reason. And if you have it only, you know that you're getting it from that person when you only have it when you're around that person. That's like the biggest thing. You know that you're getting it from that person when you're only experiencing it when you're with that person. Love is Blind Brazil, later daters, the woman who drove away from her wedding with her best friend like a boss, wore a lot of yellow. And yellow is such a good color to wear. Yellow is such a good color to wear, especially now, like in these times. I've been wearing, I bought like this cute little like yellow outfit for like pole dancing or whatever. It's so cute. And it's like bright yellow. He lost 400 pounds and he was 400 pounds and he lost 200 pounds and then he cheated on me. Ciao. I am so sorry that happened to you. Yeah, wear hot pink. I own a lot of hot pink. As it gets cooler, I'll be able to do that. And I have animal print. And I like to mix colors. I like to mix prints. Like, just be loud and bold and brazen with everything. Why not? I'm glad. This is the reason why, like, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Um, this is the reason why I know it's gonna sound kind of like mean. It's gonna sound kind of mean. I just feel like this. Women always have to live by these beauty standards. And like, I'm sorry, I'm not afraid to put beauty standards on to men. I am sorry. Like, I kind of feel like they want you to have they want you to be pregnant for 9 months, deliver the baby, and then snap back in fucking 6 weeks. They want you to snap back in 6 weeks and they just get to be 400 pounds and no one talks shit about them. This is why I am not team loving men through their like changes. Like, I'm not, because the thing about it is that for men, it's not changes. If you gaining weight, having a baby, you're literally gaining weight because of the changes that your body incurred. A man is gaining weight because he's choosing to be a fat fuck and stuff his face. He's choosing to be a lazy ass and not get up and go to the gym. That's why he's severely overweight. That's why he's severely overweight. Like, what's their excuse? They don't have a period. They don't have an influx of different hormones coming in and out of their body week to week. What's their excuse? Thank you for the super chat, Sunshine. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. So, I mean, I would never say that I would go out of my way to like shame a man. But I remember one guy that I used to talk to, he knew that I did bodybuilding and he already knew what it was. He was like, okay, I know that if I date you, like, I'm going to have to be on my shit. You damn Skippy. You damn Skippy. You're going to have to be on your shit. Because normally I tend to go for men who are big into health and fitness because no, men definitely should have that as a standard specifically. They have testosterone. There ain't no reason why a grown ass man ain't moving his body in having a little bit of muscle. You ain't got to have a six pack. I mean, a six pack would be nice, but at least have a muscle outline. I mean, damn. I can't stay for the live, but can't wait to watch replay later. Oh, well, I can't wait for you to watch the replay because you'll like it. It'll be good. Hi. Yes. I'm telling you, so many women. I mean, they just, although I knew this, they just admitted the fact that bacterial vaginosis actually comes from men. BV actually comes from men. This is the reason why they're always trying to paint our vaginas as being dirty. Our vaginas are not dirty. They literally have a self-cleaning oven inside of them. We literally have a pH that it can run highly acidic. That way it's like killing stuff in there. And they're over here selling douches to women. Like what the freak? Like, no. And then women will sit here and think that it's them. Like, oh my God, I had one girl and she was like, I stink and I this, and I'm like, it's your husband, girl. It's your husband. That's the reason why you stink down there. That's the reason why you stink down there. Because that's a clear sign for me. Because like there was one guy, we had to use protection and everything. And I don't want to say I stunk, but I actually did smell something. And normally I don't smell something. Or at least it's not like noticeable. It wasn't as it usually is not as noticeable as it was. And I was like, I'm never sleeping with that man again. We used protection and I still came out smelling something. I was like, I'm never sleeping with that man again. My body said no. That's how specific and picky I am. Even a tinge of something being off, I'm not sticking around because it's just going to get worse. It's just going to get worse. If I start breaking out, if my hair starts thinning, if I start gaining weight and a man is in my presence, and it was never like that before a man was in my presence, no. Mm-mm. Like, no, my kitty is closed. I'm not dealing with that shit. It's so easy for them to build muscle too. Why don't they do it? Because they're fucking lazy. That's why. They're lazy. And you want to know a reason why? Because y'all out here loving them while they fat. That's another reason why. Y'all are like, I don't care. He could be 500 pounds and I'll still love him. Psh. I'm not ever doing that. The only thing that could be fat on a man is his pockets. Can't nothing else be fat. Only his pockets could be fat. And I don't care. I don't care what anybody has to say about it because men have no excuse. Men have no fucking excuse to be fat. I'm not dealing with no man that's overweight. I'm sorry. I did it once and I had to put his ass in check. Oh, I had to put his ass in check. So he actually had gotten up to like 350 pounds. And when we were dating, he was about 220 pounds. And so we went to Mexico and we had signed up for like zip lining, horseback riding, all of that stuff. So the first zip line that we did, it was a zip line that went into water and it was kind of like a seated zip line. So it was a very low zip line. So the weight limit wasn't as high as like a normal zip line would be. So there was a pretty like low weight restriction for the zip line. My ex-boyfriend, he exceeded the weight limit to get onto that zip line. And men made fun of him. One of the men made fun of him in front of everybody. Yeah, they literally it was this white guy. I think he was a passport bro. I think he was a passport bro. He was with this I think she was from Venezuela. He was giving passport bro vibes, but it was a passport bro, and he literally made fun of my ex-boyfriend for being overweight to where he couldn't be on the zip line. He had made fun of him. And so my ex was like, "Oh, like I don't care about it. Like it's fine, you know what I mean?" Because I did bring it up. I was like, "Hey, like I just want to make sure, like you know." And then we would go out to eat. And one time, you know, when you go to certain places to eat, and they have like a jumbo, a jumbo like food challenge type of thing where you order it and you can like get it for free or whatever. His fat ass had ordered like this 5-pound burrito. And I remember I took a picture of him eating it. He didn't know I took it. I took a picture of him eating it and I was just in disgust. I was just in disgust. And I remember when we were on the vacation, all he wanted to do was just eat junk food. Like all he wanted to do was eat a ton of shit. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking like, this motherfucker is going to be back to 350 pounds. He's going to be back to 350 pounds. And I don't want to, it just disgusted me. That was another thing that really turned me off from being in a relationship with him. His habits. He was eating like shit. And I just couldn't, physically, I was just like, I don't think I can do this. Like, I don't think I can do this. He was just so gluttonous. His pockets was fat. This guy was like 5'10". He was like 5'10". He was 5'10", and at one point he was like 350 pounds. That was the first and last time that I dealt with a guy that big, and like I'm never doing that again. I'm never doing that again. I just was only there because his pockets was fat and his wallet was open and he was exercising his wallet. He was exercising his credit card. And so I was just like, well, that's fine. As long as you exercising that credit card, as long as you exercising that credit card, we good. But I couldn't look past his gluttony. That was another reason I was like, your ass gonna be 350 pounds the second I blink. The second I blink, I could tell you lost that weight, but you didn't lose those habits. And them habits gonna get you right back to where you fucking started. And so, oh, sorry, I started rambling. I was actually going somewhere with that story. I'm so sorry. So I caught him talking shit. And he was talking about girls that he went to high school with. And he was talking about how, yeah, there's these girls that are like, and he could have been lying. You know how men sit here and they try to triangulate you with other women and talk shit about other women to get you to gang up, you know, on the women to make them feel special. So he find himself talking shit about some girls that he went to high school with, talking about how they used to be the baddest thing. They used to be the baddest thing in high school, and now they're all big and now they're all overweight. I put his ass in check real quick. I was like, weren't you just 350 fucking pounds like a year ago? I literally said that to him. I was like, weren't you 350 pounds a year ago? I was like, did you look like that in high school? I was like, I ain't seen no pictures of you in high school, but I highly doubt that you looked the way that you did when you were 350 pounds as you did in high school. So how the fuck you gonna sit here and talk about women saying that they don't look like anything, saying that they done lost their bodies and they looks after they had children? Bro, you were fucking 5'10" and 350 pounds. You have no fucking place to talk. I chewed his ass up. He hated me near the end of that trip because I put his ass in check so many times. I put his ass in check so many times. How did you say that you are breaking up with him? I said he had trust issues. And I was like, without trust, we have nothing. Deuces. I broke up with him via text. I broke up with him via text. Then I called him out because he was being disrespectful. He was being disrespectful to one of the workers when we were in Mexico. This cute little Mexican woman, she's got her little, taco thing or whatever. And I forgot exactly what he asked for. It wasn't a taco. Hold on. Let me see if I can remember what food it was. I think it was an arepa. I'm pretty for sure it was an arepa, and like my ex was from Mexico City, and we were in Tulum, and he is from Mexico City. So I guess she had like marketed it as an arepa, but she didn't make it exactly like how they would make it when he had went to Mexico City. And he's fluent in Spanish. Sorry, I don't know why I was saying fluid. He's fluent in Spanish, and so they were going back and forth. And like, although I couldn't understand everything that they were saying, based off of the energy, I could tell that like they were kind of, it wasn't banter. Like I could tell that they were kind of going back and forth. So we get the food or whatever. We walk back to our condo, and then he had like brought up the fact that like, yeah, like that lady or whatever, like she was like kind of mean. And I was like, yeah, what was all that about? And so he pretty much told me that like he was correcting her, pretty much telling her like, that's not how you make an arepa. Like I'm from Mexico City. Like that's not how you're supposed to do it. I cussed his ass out. I cussed his ass the fuck out. I was like, who the fuck do you think you are, coming to this woman's food truck, telling her how to make her fucking food? You're not in Mexico City. You're in Tulum. If she want to make her arepas a certain way and you don't like it, you didn't have to buy it. But to tell this woman how she's supposed to be making her food based off of where the fuck you are, you're out of line. I chewed his ass out. I chewed his ass out. He didn't talk to me for the rest of the night, and I didn't even care. He was like, I was thinking, and then the next day, he's like, I was thinking about what you're saying. And like, he did take accountability, but his whole face just glazed over. And I texted my mom, and I was like, I can't. I texted my mom. I said, I'm sick of this fat fuck. I'm sick of this fat fuck. It was 2 weeks after that trip, I broke up with his ass. Got my money, got some money. He was taking me shopping, and I was like, Mama, I'm tired of this fat fuck. And my mama at first was agreeing with him. She was like, well, technically, that's not how you make arepas. I was like, okay, you're not making any sense. That was rude. That was rude. I make Chipotle at home. I'm not going to Chipotle and saying, yeah, I got Chipotle at home. You know, what if yada yada chow? I don't know what any of those things are. He said, what if your date is, oh, you said SK. I know that's the reason why I don't want to go date nobody, especially on these dating apps. Especially on these dating apps, hell no. I don't want to put myself in a predicament on who that person may potentially be. It's too dangerous. Yeah, that was disrespectful. You don't get food from somebody and then tell them how they're supposed to make their food. That's rude as hell. That's rude as hell. Now, it's different if they're supposed to prepare the food a certain type of way, and it's not prepared the way in which they said that it should be prepared. That's different. But to go to someone's but to go get food from someone and say that they're not making it the way that is native to where you're from is rude. Mexico City, he said Mexico City is better now because like there's a lot more tourism to Mexico to where people will go to Mexico City, but like when he grew up there, it was like really impoverished and like dangerous. Yeah, I'm never doing that. And I feel like the men that have the resume of all of those things that you mentioned, they're going to be the number one people on dating apps. They're going to be the number one people on dating apps. Exactly. He should have had his own food truck. Oh yeah, they'll do everything except try. Girl, I even cussed his ass out over how he ran his own business. Dating me is not for the faint of heart. Like, honestly, dating me is not for the faint of heart because I'm not going to sit here and hold my tongue. I'm not going to sit here and hold my tongue. These men, when they do dumb shit, they're getting cussed out. When they do dumb shit, they're getting cussed the fuck out. They're getting they're being told that their behavior is not what they should be doing because no. I even told him about himself with his business because he was complaining to me about his business, and what he was doing with his business model was stupid. What he was doing with his business model was stupid. He was getting upset over inventory, and he was like, "Well," he was like, "I don't want to order." He was like in a crossroads because he didn't want to have to order too much inventory because he was having this issue where people were coming to the store and he would never order enough inventory. And so he would have to send people away. And I was telling him, I'm like, scared money don't make no money. If you order the inventory, that will light the fire up under your ass to make sure that this stuff gets sold. And he had such a scarcity mindset. He had such a scarcity mindset. And I'm like, it looks bad as a business owner because he had a small business. And so the thing about it is that as a small business owner, people are specifically coming to your business as a small business owner with the expectation that you have a certain product that they will not be able to get elsewhere. That's like the trade secret of small businesses. You are providing something that other people don't have. And so when I would be free, I would just like go to the store and like hang out and kick it or whatever. And he would just have one person after another saying like, "Oh, where is this? Oh, where is that?" And so he would have to tell them like, "Oh, I don't carry, we're out of yada, yada, yada. We're out of yada, yada, yada." And in my head, I'm thinking like, that's $40, that's $60, that's $80, that's $90, within like an hour, he's already missed out on like $300 of profit because he doesn't have the inventory, because he had such this scarcity mindset of ordering more than enough inventory, because he rather just or like order enough, get it all sold, and then order some. And I'm like, that's not how you run a business. He's like, but they don't buy this stuff enough. They don't buy this stuff enough. You want to know what companies do when they have something in excess and they want to get rid of it? Buy one, get one free. Buy one, get one 50% off. That's what they do. So we had like had an argument or whatever. He was like, you don't understand. You don't understand. I'm like, my father is in business. My father owns a restaurant. My father owns 2 barbershops. My father fucking owned a club. I know everything about business. I know everything there is to know about business, and what you're doing is stupid. It looks bad. The money that you're turning away, the money that's being turned away when you send your customers away, you think they're going to sit here and wait for your inventory to get filled? No, they're going to go to somebody else or they're going to order it online. They're still going to spend their money, especially with the type of business that he was running. Especially with the type of business that he was running. No, they're going to spend their money. They're going to get it elsewhere. all business is really just two things: finding a need that people have and fulfilling it. That's really what business is: finding a need that people have and fulfilling it. Yeah, and then meanwhile, this is the same man that's like, I wish I would have got into the medical field. I wish I would have got into the medical field like you. I wish I would have done yada yada like you. I'm like, chow, you still can. You very well still can, sir. I'm going to stay on here for about 20 more minutes and then I'm going to get off of here. Could someone please list an unselfish, non narcissistic, non egotistical reason to date, enter relationships, and get married? Partnerships are just transactional because we live in a transactional world. When men and women are full people, they don't need one another as a form of codependency. They need one another to form community. An ascended man doesn't need a woman, and an ascended woman doesn't need a man. But like I said, it was either on the live stream yesterday on this channel or the live stream on the spiritual channel, they can't capitalize off of that. Right? They can't capitalize off of men and women understanding that they have masculine and feminine within them. They can't make money off of the fact that your other person is out there and that you're half of a person and you're a whole person. It all has to be rooted in the environment that we live in. We live in a narcissistic environment. We live in an egotistical environment. We live in a transactional environment. So they've created a system in which actually, having a level of ascension, it can't coexist with you being in this non-transactional relationship with somebody because they can't make money off of that. Just think, if every man and woman were to be ascended, everything would crumble. People would start having less children. Divorce lawyers wouldn't make any money. Divorce lawyers wouldn't make as much money. The government wouldn't be able to make money off of a marriage license. There probably wouldn't be any such thing as child support anymore. The school system would be taking a hit. Therapy service would be getting reduced if you had ascended women and ascended men. Consumerism would go down because you would have people that realize that everything they have is internal and they don't need to buy all of these things. Like, an ascended man or woman is dangerous to the society that we live in. Because once you're ascended, you realize that this isn't even real. None of this stuff is needed. You don't need any of this stuff. I think community and also service is a sacred practice, but by making everything currency and exploitation, healthy love is a lost art. Exactly. Thank you, Prairie Dog, for the super chat. Thank you for your wisdom. Appreciate you. Mm-hmm. Men would stop going to the gym. She said, girl, they barely going. The ones that go, the ones that go now is because they always been going. Like, no. Mm-mm. I know. I hate it all. I hate it all. I hate it all. It just, it does something to my spirit. It does something to my spirit, and it doesn't do a good thing to my spirit. There are some female only gyms, but this is the reason why she said they go to the gym to check out men. True. True, and women def shouldn't sacrifice anymore. We have these knowledges and practices, but narc men won't listen because they prefer property and abuse. I agree. The power that patriarchy gives men, they don't want to give it up. Yeah, the thing about it is that these men are so sneaky. You don't ever like if they can't feast their eyes on you, like actually making eye contact, it's mirrors everywhere in the fucking gym. It's mirrors everywhere in the fucking gym. And they may not even be recording you. They may be recording your reflection in the mirror. Like men are so crafty when it comes to getting the things that they want. Like I never feel comfortable really going to the gym, to be honest. Like I'm pretty close to getting me a walking pad and some dumbbells and just calling it a day. Yep, and go early, like 4 or 5 a.m. Back home, there is a women only part of our gym. It's in the back. It's in the back of the gym, and I had enjoyed that it was only women. She said, "I love seeing the chat box get cleaned up after riling up a few trigger dogs." I'm laughing because Marcus saw himself out. Marcus said he saw all the smoke Trey was getting. He saw all of the smoke Trey was getting, and Marcus said, "I don't want none of that." Marcus saw himself out. Marcus was like, "No, it's cool." Women can be creeps too, but guess what? I mean, which one are you going to take your chance in? You're going to take your chance in a gym full of men, or you're going to take your chances in a gym full of women? This is what I can't stand. I can't stand those dumbass arguments. Like, no offense. I just can't stand that argument. Like, women do it too. Okay, yes, women do it too. But are you going to have your child go into a place where it's men only, or are you going to have your child go to a place where it's women only? Like, yeah, and it's like, Lord knows what they're doing with women only. Yeah, it's just like, hell no, I'm not. I wouldn't even want to run the risk. I wouldn't even want to run the risk because it's just like there are some women creeps for sure, but if I had to choose, I don't think I would be going in a group of men or sending someone to go with a group of men that I wouldn't know. That would be a little sketch. Nobody is spamming the weights. Nobody smells bad. Yeah, like the gym I go to, there's like an extension part of the gym that you can go into. And so, like usually I like to do all of that stuff. I mean, I guess I am a woman creep too. I guess I am a woman creep too, but I mean, I'm just going to look really quick and go on about my day. I mean, the thing that bothers me is it's like, okay, beauty is beauty, but you have to have a boundary when admiring beauty. And in my opinion, men don't understand the boundary. They don't understand the boundary of admiring somebody's beauty. I feel like this. Okay, obviously you want to admire beautiful things. That's why you go to like an art gallery. That's why you want your food to be presented nicely. That's why you want to she said I follow you only on TikTok. I swear these apps watching. They look You want to know what I noticed? You want to know what I noticed? Are they recommending you? Are they recommending you channels that are on YouTube, but you only follow them on TikTok? Because I started noticing that. It would be creators that I would be following on TikTok, had no idea that they had a YouTube, and they would start feeding me their content on YouTube. And I'm like, how the fuck did that get there? How the fuck did that get there? How were they able to know that I was watching something? How were they able to match that up like that? Yes, they've been recommending me people that I follow on TikTok too. But back what I was saying, men just don't know how to. Men don't understand the creep. They do the admiration and then they cross that boundary from admiring to creep. Like, ain't nobody saying that you can't look at something beautiful. Nobody's saying that you can't compliment something beautiful. But it's like you got to know when to stop staring. You know what I mean? You got to know when to, like, I kind of felt bad. I kind of felt bad for my friend. Hopefully she didn't think I was a creep. But she looked so good. Oh my God. We had a class over the weekend and like her outfit, she always wears like really, really nice like outfits or whatever. And this is at pole dancing. So like, this is what cracks me up when men are like, women want to be naked, half naked for women want to be half naked for men. Have you ever been to a pole dancing class and it's with a group of women that you constantly see repeatedly? Chow, we be up in there naked. Chow. We be up in that place damn near naked. So she had on this real hot outfit, She had on like this black, like bralette type of thing, this like see-through bralette thing, and it had like a little one shoulder cross thing, and then she had on these like fishnets, and it was like a leotard, and it was like this really cute pattern fishnet. She looked so good. And I was like, I kept looking at her and I was like, girl, I was like, whoo, I was like, I need to get my temperature down. So I was like, you look good. And I was complimenting her or whatever. And I was like, hopefully I wasn't doing too much. But she really did look good. But I was like, hopefully I didn't come off creepy. But she was like, thank you. Aw, you're welcome. You're welcome. She said this lady would dump a guy unless he meets all her expectation and then mock him for not having the last 20%. No one is perfect. Learn this. I wouldn't, well, first of all, I wouldn't dump a guy for not meeting my expectations because I would never deal with the guy that didn't meet my expectations. So you can't dump somebody that you don't give a chance to. That's just called having standards. You don't date every single person that wants to talk to you. You don't date every single person that is interested in you. So I can't dump somebody that I wouldn't be interested in. So yeah, I wouldn't dump somebody that doesn't meet my standards because I would never give them a chance. Someone on my Facebook posted you talking about your look sounding like a pick me. I blocked her so fast. I see you around a lot. Really? Because see, I'm not on Facebook. It's so crazy that like more and more people are telling me that I'm gaining virality. Like it's crazy because somebody else told me that like they seen someone bring me up in a Reddit post. They had said this yesterday. It is insane to me that I'm reaching virality because I'm not on Facebook. So I don't know what's getting posted on there. Speaking of Facebook, oh my God. I don't know if any of you all follow Yunti Tia, Rick Ross's baby mama. She's always on TikTok and she always does live stream where she is getting called, where she's calling people. People are like sending her like, oh, my baby daddy hasn't seen his child in 3 years and he refuses to send child support. Can you please call him and talk to him? Here's his number. And so she got this like burner Barbie phone, and she literally will be on live stream calling up these people, cussing them the fuck out. She does some she is nice to like some people. Like she will congratulate some people or like tell some people like, hey, you're out here doing a good job, keep it up. But most of the time she's cussing somebody out. Someone leaked her burner phone number onto Facebook yesterday, and someone screen recorded the live stream of her getting all of these text messages. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. She's the phone was going. The phone, the notifications was nonstop. She was losing her goddamn mind. She was losing her goddamn mind. She started reading off the text message. They was calling her all types of bitches and hoes and suck my D and yada yada. They was calling her all types of bitches and hoes. And she said, they are eating me down. She said, they are eating me down. She was flabbergasted. She was flabbergasted that they had exposed her burner number on Facebook and was hitting her up. Dating is expensive in this economy. Where would I take the person out to dinner? McDonald's. Where would I buy the person's gift? Dollarama. I refuse to be branded as a cheap disappointment. That's the mindset that you're supposed to have. That's the mindset that you are supposed to have. It's like, if you don't have the budget to date, don't date. Like too many men want to go out in the dating pool and they want to go for a girl that exceeds their price limit. And then they want to get mad that the girl won't put herself at a discounted price. Go to where you can afford something. I can't afford a Chanel dress. I can't afford a Chanel dress. Who am I to go to Chanel and say, you want to know what? You need to be lowering your prices. You need to make your $600 dress. You need to make it $60 because I should be able to wear a Chanel dress because that's what I want to wear. You can't do that. So I don't know the level of entitlement that they have to think that women should have to price themselves down in order for them to have an experience. No, like, no, baby. You are in the market of I don't shop at the mall a lot. You got to go to H&M, baby. Okay, you got to go to H&M. You got to get your polyester dress. All right, you got to get your polyester dress from H&M. All right, that's what you can comfortably afford. And if you don't like what H&M got to offer and you want your Chanel dress, well, guess what, baby? You got to get to work. You got to get to work. You got to get to hustling for you to be able to afford the Chanel dress that you want. It's that simple. Yeah, exactly. She said, get a second income source, baby. I haven't shopped at H&M. I haven't shopped at H&M in so long. Cause I have more than enough clothes. I have more than enough clothing. It's time for me to purge soon anyway. Yeah, men and women both, honestly. I heard that. Cause that's one thing about women I've never understood. Like, women will be like, I want him to make a lot of money, but I want him to be up under me all the time. Okay, how is that going to work? How is that going to work? How is he going to be able to be up under you all the time when he has to be making all this money that you want to spend? Like, that's not going to be able to, and then you're like, oh, this man is always up under me, but he's broke. Pick a struggle. Pick a struggle. The man that's making a lot of money and giving you the money, he ain't going to be able to spend time with you. Okay. The man that don't make any money, he's always going to be able to spend time with you. And guess what? With the little bit of time that both of those men have, they're going to be cheating on your ass. Okay? She said you could sell your clothes to your followers. That's smart because I actually really do have a lot of cute things. I really do have a lot of cute things that I feel like everybody would like. Cause yeah, I have a lot of things and I'm just like, I don't want them anymore. But best believe whether he has all of the free time with no job or he's got a little bit of free time with a job that's making a lot of money, with the little bit of free time he got, he gonna be cheating. With a little bit of free time, he gonna be cheating. So pick your poison. Pick your poison. For a lot of these men, it's only gonna take 5 minutes anyway. Because women be like, he don't got it. He doesn't have enough time to cheat. Girl, these men are finishing in 2 minutes. These men are finishing in 2 minutes. They got 2 minutes to spare. Okay, they got 2 minutes to spare. They got a car that they can finish in 2 minutes in. They got a back alley that they can get everything solved in about 5 minutes. Men always have time to do that. Women try to make it seem as if these men are gladiators in the bedroom. Child, these men are not trust me, these men are not gladiators in the bedroom. Trust me. Trust me. I don't work with men that made it work. I don't work with men and they figured it out in 2 minutes. Trust me, they have time. Men and women are not biologically attracted to one another. Procreation is just simply the act of engaging in having sex to create life. You don't have to have a relationship to do that. You don't have to have marriage to do that. There is no such thing as biologically being attracted to somebody. There is no such thing as being biologically attracted to someone. It's just basic biology that it takes for a man and a woman to have sex to create a human. That doesn't have to be rooted in love. That doesn't have to be rooted in marriage. That doesn't have to be rooted in romance. That doesn't have to be rooted in living under one another. None of that is required for two people to come together to make a child. Mostly everything is like size medium, size 8. Like if men and women were meant to be with each other, why do they constantly have to show heterosexual relationships? No, it's a societal construct. If we burned everything down and started over and I ruled the universe and I was like, you want to know what? I want everybody to be gay. I want everybody to be gay. So I said, I don't want the world to, if I burned everything down and I was a dictator and I was like, you want to know what? I'm going to start society all over again. And I'm like, you want to know what? I want everybody to be gay. I want everybody to be gay. I don't want to have a lot of people on earth. I don't want to have a lot of people on earth. We got enough people already. I kept a few people with me. We got enough people to procreate to have everything moving. I want everybody to be gay. So guess what? I have all the media show people being gay. I show all of the relationships and everybody's gay. Everybody's in a same-sex relationship. Everybody's going to be in a same-sex relationship. Everybody's going to be in a same-sex relationship. And if I were to say, yeah, you want to know what? You're only supposed to sleep with the opposite sex if you want to have a child. That's the only time. You're not allowed to do it any other time. Everyone would listen to me. Everyone would do it. All I have to do is just propagate the media. All I have to do is propagate the media and show you that. So the schmeck scenes will be same-sex couples. The relationships will be same-sex couples. I literally could create my own society and start from scratch and do that. Because if it was actually natural, they would never have to show you all that stuff. They would never have to constantly show you schmeck scenes. They would constantly not have to show you movies of rom-coms of people being in a heterosexual relationship. Once again, capitalism does not survive with people being in being in same gendered relationships. That's the reason why they demonize homosexuality. They demonize homosexuality because how many babies you gonna create when people are bumping cats and men are backdooring one another? How many slaves are you gonna make when everyone is sleeping with the same gender? How long are the companies going to last when they don't have enough workers to keep the company running because the same gender of people are dealing with each other? And the brainwashing is literally for the genders to oppose one another. So you mean to tell me that we're meant to be, but the societal constructs between men and women are so different, where men are literally taught to not be women. And that's what makes them a man. But then we're expecting for men to still like women. That doesn't make any sense. That makes zero sense. You can't teach men you cannot teach men that the way of being men is to not be a woman and then still expect for them to like women. That doesn't make sense. So all it is societal conditioning. That's why women are like, you can't tell me that heterosexuality is a choice. It was a choice that was actually stolen from you. It was actually a choice that was stolen from you, because when women are describing what they want in a man, those are all feminine traits. Just keeping it real. All the things that women are describing that they want in a man, those are all traits that women have. I want him to communicate. I want him to be nurturing. I want him to be caring. I want him to be empathetic. Girl, you asking for what a woman is going to do. You're asking for what a woman is going to do. You essentially want a man's body with a woman inside of it. That's pretty much what you want. Exactly. You are 100% right, Bubbly. Cheating is the biggest weapon men use to control women, and it's rigged because they cheat either way. So running around doing everything is pointless. Exactly. This is why I'm always going to say, let them, you can't stop a man from cheating. Let him cheat. Let him cheat, wrap it up, smack it up, and keep getting tested. I couldn't believe people were mad over my makeup too. It was insane to me. I was like, what the fuck? It's just some color. It's just some color. But yeah, so that should already tell you. That should already tell you where people actually stand when it comes with their sexuality. When you really sit down and think about it, because I've sat down and thought about this, I genuinely think that by nature, this is going to be a hot take. I think this is going to be a hot take, but I genuinely think that by nature, people are pretty much gay. People are pretty much gay. That's why gay means happy. They know people are going to be the happiest when they're dealing with someone the same gender as them. And no, I'm not trying to indoctrinate anybody. No, I'm not trying to Princella the Queen Maker, y'all. I promise y'all I'm not. But in my opinion, I just kind of feel like the things that they constantly want to demonize, it always comes to the surface that that's actually what we're supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? It actually was the truth. That actually was where the truth lies. Like, come on. Sex used to be a sacred thing for a reason. It used to be a sacred thing for a reason because women weren't checking for men like that. Women weren't checking for men like that. So that's the reason why sex was so sacred, because they're like, you want to know what? We don't even do this a lot. We don't even do this a lot with men like this. So we're doing them a favor by even doing it in the first place, because we don't even mess with them like that for real. That's why it used to be so sacred, because it's like, okay, we're actually doing this with the whole purpose of procreating and this being like a sacred practice. This ain't even really the usual. This not really what we be doing for real. That's why sex used to be so sacred in Neolithic times, because women weren't doing it like that with men. They weren't. They were like very, very picky. It like had to be a particular man that they would choose to sleep with. And then in order for, I'm serious, and then in order for the man to be able to like to help procreate, they will unalive him after. They literally would be like, okay, this is the man that I want to procreate with, and that's what his purpose is. And they would just unalive him after he did his job of like helping the woman procreate, because that's the only reason why men are here. Oh yeah, most of them didn't. That's the reason why they I'm gonna be on here for 10 more minutes, I promise. 10 more minutes and I gotta get off. That's the reason why they diagnosed women with hysteria. So men didn't know how to give women a climax. Men didn't know how to give women a climax. And so what they started realizing was that they were like, okay, well, now these women are kind of acting a little bit crazy. And so what they started doing was they started having, let me just say, exams, okay, internal exams, if you get what I'm getting at. They would have internal exams of the women to treat their hysteria because the men couldn't get them to reach a climax. And so that's how they ended up creating toys, because the doctors were getting so many women going to see them to cure their hysteria that they were like, bruh, my fingers are fucking gonna fall off. We gotta create something that can help these women out. Because them doctors were tired of having them women come in like, I have hysteria, please help me. And so them doctors were like, okay, my hand is cramping. I got carpal tunnel. We got to do something about this. Yeah, there's a lot of species. There's a lot of species where the male will cease to. Okay, well, I guess the spirit heard me. There is a lot of species where after mating, the male will just cease to exist after they mate. Like, for instance, I was driving and like I saw a man and he was in shape. I don't know how his face looked, but honestly, it's like I was just impressed over the fact that I seen a man that was muscular and he was running, because it's it's just not the norm. It's just not the norm. It's just not the norm. And so I seen this guy running and I was like, you want to know what? He actually looks pretty good running. I don't know how his face looked, but body was T. Body was T. I know, right? The spirit of a Dusty, like, no. No, actually, I think it was like confirmation. I think it was a confirmation drop. Sometimes we get those too. A little confirmation roll. Yeah, the most caring person that you're really ever gonna meet is gonna be a woman. It ain't gonna be no man. Men are gonna pretend to care, but deep down, they're not caring unless they're getting what they want. Like my old sneaky link, like my old sneaky link. After I told him we're not sleeping with one another, you think he done texted me? You think he done checked up on me like he was doing before when he knew that he had access to sleeping with me? No, because his ass don't care, and I don't either. But I remember I used to have this mindset of thinking like men were like women. And essentially, I was like, there was this one guy that I used to talk to, and I was like, well, you never checked on me, like once we stopped talking or whatever. And essentially, his reasoning was just kind of like, okay, well, if I wasn't dealing with you, what would be the purpose of me checking in on you? And like, that's not really how women operate. Like, women don't have to receive something from another person in order to make sure that they're okay. And then I remember telling him, like, well, like I remember telling him that like I wanted to be friends with him. And he was like, well, I'm really not friend. He told me straight up, he was like, I really am not friends with women. He was like, I don't really believe in being friends with women. He was like, I just only kind of deal with women if I'm like sleeping with them. And so then that gave me even more of a confirmation, like, they really only want to deal with you and pretend like they care when they have access to you. And so he was just like dead honest with it. And I was like, well, you want to know what? Like, he actually put a lot into perspective for me. He was like, yeah, he was like, I'm not going to be friends with like a woman like that. He's like, I'm only going to deal with women if I'm sleeping with them. And I was like, okay, well, you want to know what? That's fair. Can't stop you from that. But it took for me to realize like they really don't give a fuck. Like, they're never going, they don't care. They don't care. They only care as long as they have access to whatever it is that the woman is providing. If they don't have access to what the woman is providing, they're not going to reach out to you. They're not going to check in on you. They're not going to care. Why did you stop OF? Because it's a lot. Oh my God. Those parasocial relationships, child. It's a lot. To have to constantly message those men all the time, it's a lot. Yeah, I realize men who aren't elevated see women as something they can use and abuse. Oh, yeah. And this guy, let me tell you, this guy tried to paint this picture like he was so ascended and like he was so deep and he just was so above all the bullshit. He's like, yeah, I do semen retention and I don't watch porn. And, he was really trying to like set it up or whatever. He was really, really trying to set it up. When in reality, he was machismo as fuck. He was Puerto Rican. He was machismo. Well, he was black and Puerto Rican. He was machismo as fuck. Machismo as fuck. And then he tried to make it seem as if I have all this discipline and I have all this restraint and I have all this and I have all that. Man, I ended up dealing with that guy a couple times. And then I ended up leaving the state to go to New York City. This is the same man claiming that he has so much discipline and he does semen retention and he yada yada yada. Okay, why was his ass reaching out to me to see if I could assist him cheating on his girlfriend? And once again, I cussed his ass the fuck out. OF is a lot. Had a vid call last night that was worth it, but dang, I didn't want to do it because I just came home from work. Girl, it's so exhausting. So exhausting. You have to talk to them on OF, TF. Yeah, girl, you got that's where your money. The fake nicest man the fake nicest man I ever met was openly gay with a boyfriend, hiding umbrellas for me, always checking on me, helping me at work, making sure I made it home okay. He still tried to backdoor me at work. See, that's horrible. That's horrible. But yeah, you got to talk to them on fans only. I don't like to say the actual word. I don't want them to demonetize the video or put an age restriction on. Um, but yeah, fans only, you have to talk to them because like a pretty big selling point of fans only is like this parasocial relationship that the men will have with you. I wonder if any of my friends see me on Facebook. Like I wonder cuz the people in my generation, especially where I'm from in my hometown, a lot of them still use Facebook. So now I'm curious because someone mentioned that they see me on Facebook. I wonder if they see me on Facebook because I remember when I did have Facebook, there would be some people that would tag me and they would be like, "This is you." Yeah, gotta protect it. I don't want them coming. I don't want them coming after me. It's fans only. Oh my God, there is a woman with cancer in the hospital where I volunteer. The husband abandoned her and got remarried. They don't care. And they have to prepare wives for this because men are 7 times more likely to divorce their wife after they get diagnosed with a terminal illness. Aw, thank y'all. Um, yeah, they're 7 times more likely to leave the wife after she gets diagnosed with a terminal illness. And these are the same men that are trying to tell you that, oh, you're gonna die alone. You're gonna die alone. Just do a free one. Do a free one and don't put anything crazy on there. I had a free subscription. I had a free subscription with a mass DM, and I would just put the content in the mass DM. It was just the free one. It wasn't no lingerie or nothing like that on there. It was just gym pictures. Just cute pictures that like you would put on an Instagram. Yep, exactly. Don't check on them or care either. Not worth it. Exactly. That's why I don't reach out to the asses. Like the shoe was on the other foot, they wouldn't care about me no way. Men wouldn't even piss on you if you were on fire. Men wouldn't even piss on you if you were on fire. Yeah, I don't have time for that. And doing all that heavy lifting in the relationship is just going to put you in an early grave. No thanks. An early grave for a man. Took your advice on the free one, girl, and got 25 freeloaders. LOL, but started making a little money at least. Yeah, I mean, of course, it's going to be freeloaders because, of course, they're going to see free. But this is the reason why you just put it in the mass DMs, and then all you have to do is just like block the people who aren't spending any money, and it'll get better. It will. It'll get better. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of freeloaders, but you can convert people once they're there. You can at least convert people and do your little cute little welcome message for them to potentially unlock. But I'm glad that you're making some money. And make use of all the stuff in your vault too. Like, especially if you've had people that have been following you for a while, make use of all the things that are on your vault. Like, the cool thing about fans only is that you literally just treat it like it's like a business, like a marketing business. So you could have something that like you had to be unlockable 2 months ago. And then you can make like a really cool message and be like, remember this daring outfit that I wore 2 months ago? Well, this is your chance to see it for half the price. And you could just like discount it. Maybe you just put on less pictures. Maybe you put less pictures like in the set. And you could do like the little flashing like emergency emoji or whatever like that. Like you could do all that stuff too. And not going to be taking a picture in this set again, or not going to be revisiting this again, to make them have like a sense of urgency to want to like unlock the content. And also don't forget, like, put your Amazon wish list on there. And also don't forget, you can go live on fans only. You can go live on fans only, and they can pay you during your live stream on fans only. Because I would go live on there too. True. I think I will do something with like business or finance or stuff like that. I definitely don't label myself as somebody who like I don't even label myself as someone who really leads with that, but I mean, I obviously do know like how to do it or whatever, because I mean, obviously I've done it with social media and stuff like that, but yeah, you can do a live stream and they can you actually can do a goal. You could do it, it's literally like how they do it on TikTok. So you literally can create a goal, and then also like for your pictures too, for your pictures that are on your fans only, don't forget that like you could do a sob story. You know what I mean? Because those pictures that you post on fans only, you can also use it as like a GoFundMe. So you can if you're trying to release something, or let's just say it's something, some new type of content that you want to like get them excited for, you can post your picture on fans only, and then you could say, for this I have a 200 goal for this post, $200 goal for this post. If we reach $200 for this post, I will do XYZ type of content. You could do that too. Use all the different ways that you can make money. Use all the different ways that you are able to make money. How do you deal with getting exposed? I saw a Telegram page exposing of girls. Honestly, I feel like this is just what comes along with the territory. I mean, your body getting exposed is no different than your data getting exposed. Because guess what? Everyone knows your data. They know your social security number. They know the grocery stores that you shop at. They know your phone bill service. They know your electricity, your water service. They know what car you drive. They know what time you wake up. They know your coffee order. They're selling all of that stuff too. So nothing in life is yours. In this reality that's been created for us, nothing is yours anyway. So it's like, that's why you alchemize stuff like that. Look at Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian literally alchemized the whole fact that she released her own, or allegedly, it's not allegedly because it's proven. Kim Kardashian alchemized the fact that she had a schmex tape. And like, we have to be very real. This is a real thing that women do. This was the blueprint for Paris Hilton. This was the blueprint for Kim Kardashian. Literally make a schmex tape so that way I can get negative energy and I can use that energy to alchemize. Like, Kim Kardashian is very, very good at alchemizing negative energy. She purposely does things to rage bait people to keep her relevant so that way people will buy her products. It's all in how you look at it. There are girls out here who can get exposed. You can make t-shirt and merchandise and edit out the parts of you that they try to expose, and you can make profit off of it. You literally can say, oh, okay, you're exposing me. I'm going to go get a screen printer. I'm going to get me some t-shirts. I'm going to get me some mugs. I'm going to get the photos and put them on Photoshop and edit them. And guess what? I'm going to make t-shirts of them. I'm going to make mugs of them. And guess what? I'm going to go sell them. Yep, guys will I mean, guess what? There are guys that can all be in a group, and like obviously they can record your videos. Obviously they could take a picture of like the things that you send, but it's like, is it going to be any different? I mean, there are women that are in relationships and they thought that they were sending pictures of themselves to a trusted individual. The relationship ended and they got exposed. Like, it's just it's life. There's a risk in everything. There is a risk in everything. The dude that exposed it was mad because she charged a lot for a fee seconds clip, called her a scammer. Like, it's not that serious. Mm-hmm. She said you don't have to be famous to have subscribers. You really don't. If you caught their eye, your look and aesthetic is the first curiosity before they click that subscribe button. Exactly. That's also kind of the reason why I kind of like having the free one, because they don't give you much room to work with on the paid subscription for you to like show yourself. I mean, you get your banner and you get your profile picture, because you don't have to show anything revealing for free. Like I said before, it's going to be an Instagram. It's literally going to be it's literally just going to look like how it will look on an Instagram. Lord Duma spends plenty of money on the OF. Chow. I literally got in emails from men. Do you still do OF? Can I still have access to your OF? There are literally men that ask me if I still have my OF and if I can give them access to it. Exactly. Super had changed her name. She ended up changing her name to something else. But yeah, she made a tell-all book and made money. She was like, I'm gonna alchemize this energy. Y'all already talking. Let me get y'all something to talk about. Brittany Renner did the same thing. Brittany Renner was like, if y'all gonna call me a hoe, I'm gonna be a paid hoe. And then she fell off the bandwagon because she wanted to get rid of the 304 title. Baby, once you stamped as a 304, you're a 304 forever. It just is what it is. I don't even waste my time trying to wipe that title off of me. Once they see you as a 304, you a 304 forever. So you might as well just keep on leaning into it, keep on making money off of it, keep on owning the title. The religious rebrand never works. The religious rebrand never works. We saw how well that went for Brittany Renner. And like for Alexis Sky and for all of those other girls that were like, I don't want to be a 304 anymore. I want to rebrand as something religious. It never works out. You was better off just staying a 304. Do some people post there with no face? Yeah, there are people that post with no face. And I agree. In my experience, I haven't had really any men have an issue with me being a 304. Never had an issue with it. Because my thing is this, ain't no man that actually has something going for himself and values his time is trying to break in a virgin and trying to teach somebody a ton of tricks and trying to get somebody comfortable. Okay, ain't no man with means and ain't no man with a lot of things going on for himself is trying to do all that. He's trying to see here and be like, you want to know what, I don't have time for all of that. That's why, like a lot of men, when I worked in the club, a lot of successful men would literally admit it. They would say, you want to know what, the reason why I come here is because I know that I will pay you and then you can go away after. They literally would be like, yeah, we come here because we know that we can pay you and then you'll go away after. Like, you don't have to constantly be there all the time, because men don't want women to be around them. They don't like us. They do not like us. They don't want us to be up under them. They don't want us to be up under them. The men that get it understand, you want to know what? I'm going to pay the money. And then guess what? I don't have to hear her voice about how late I'm staying out, who I'm dealing with, if I'm cheating. For a lot of men, it's not worth it. Just give me what I want. I'll pay you the money, and then you can leave me alone. And that's perfect. For a woman like me, that's perfect. Because guess what? I don't want you to be up under me. I don't want you. And that's the thing too. I attract a lot of men who are yappy, but they don't be saying nothing. They don't be saying nothing. I don't want a man to talk to me all the time. I get so annoyed. Like, shut the fuck up. This is true. I actually gotten openly rejected when I was a Verge. LMAO one guy actually did say something like that. I don't want to be your first experience or ruin you. Exactly. No, you don't have to show your face. You don't have to show your face. But y'all, I'm gonna get off of here. I'm going to get off of here. We had a great live stream. This was good. This was good. I'm glad everyone came. I'm glad the congregation, I'm glad the congregation gathered around. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that the congregation got around today and we had a good message today. I might come back on here on Sunday, depending on how I feel. I know for sure I won't be on here tomorrow, but my live stream stamina is like getting high. Okay. It's getting pretty high. I'm feeling a lot better. So I might hop back on Sunday. Okay. So if I'm not back on Sunday, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. And stay free from the dust and keep your standards high and keep being sovereign, keep ruling and being the queen of your own world. Okay, so I will talk to y'all next time. Bye.